Newcastle.
Newcastle, twice in recent seasons, have finished runners-up in this league. Standards were set. Current crop of players not really producing form of that substance, but they're looking with a good start here for Shearer! Well, it had to come. It's taken in this match less than 4 minutes. But they rise to him at St James's Park in celebration of his first league goal since he got a couple against Nottingham Forest at the back end of September.
The best scorer of the game, Newcastle United, the scorer number 9, Alan Shearer.
This time the Glass-Shearer combination gives them a tremendous start against the side trying to go back to the top of the table. Shearer complaining that he was being tugged. Newcastle denied the cushion of a 2-0 lead, but they're looking for it here with Shearer's pass. Glass catch fire! It is 2-0 now. Well, Newcastle carving Aston Villa apart. Ketchfire scores for the 3rd game in a row. Shearer's ball inside Steve Watson. Glass involved again, as he was in the opening goal, and Ketchfire in the right place at the right time. Superb ball from Shearer. Perfect cross from Glass. And catch shaping up defensively, and Villa at least getting it to Merson. What a shot that is! What a goal for Aston Villa in a real time of need. For the first hour here at St James's Park, they've really been on the receiving end, deserving to be 2-0 down, and then suddenly a rabbit pulled from the hat by Paul Merson, and hope re-established for Aston Villa at St James's Park. Speed, referee involved, and how's that going to fall for Ketchfire? The corner.
Froggatt looks to deliver a decent cross, and it's not bad, and Boateng scores for the Sky Blues. George Boateng, one of Gordon Strachan's bargain buys, suddenly popped up. Froggatt's wonderful cross. And Boateng beat David James to it. And Coventry have the lead. McAllister gives it back to Burrows. Solbelt. It's come up to Huckabee. Boateng. And here's Whelan! And it's 2-0 Coventry! Noel Whelan. The Sky Blues, a revival, gathers apace. Gordon Strachan said they'd been playing well without getting the results. Now they're starting to get the results, it would appear. Tucked away by Whelan. Surely no way back now for Liverpool. Here's McManaman. Support from Bjornaby. A decent cross, flicked on by Riedler, and it comes to Owen, and it's finally put in by McManaman. The day after, he confirmed his intention to leave Liverpool for the Spanish giants Real Madrid. McManaman has given Liverpool real hope, albeit in the final few minutes. Slammed across the 6-yard box by Owen, tucked away by McManaman.
By the Italian. Space for Rodgers, and this is Van Hooijdonk, and that's 1-0 Phil finding Rodgers, and for the second time in a couple of minutes, Van Hooijdonk wasn't picked up, and this time Everton paid. It's ricocheted well for Stone, despite the appeals for handball. Stone goes in, this could be 2-0! Ripley's corner. Headed by Wetherell, falls to Hughes. Helped out by Radaby. Unhelped in by Cashlou. Not the tidiest of goals, but they don't care how they scored at the Dell as long as they score. A fancy flick from Hassan Cashlou. His 4th goal in 8 games. An incredible return, helping in dodge shot. Was going wide. A deft little touch. Martin beaten. Southampton up. And maybe they are fighting back. And a pure reflex goal. Got in. Blast out of his grasp at Anfield. That's an excellent stop. Maybe it is going to be his afternoon. Highly. Oh, Cashlou stolen in again. Glides his way through and forces a save. Oh my goodness, how did that not go in? It does! It's a goal for Southampton. They win the scrap again, and it's Scott Oakley. The tide is turning on the south coast. Well, it's the kind of goal which would win goal of the month in any Southampton fan's eye. Scrappy, maybe, but an important goal. He'd been fouled, he was caught, and I don't think he won any points for the fall. Beatty. Brawling again with Radaby. Been a good battle between the two, and Beatty's won it. He's played it back, and Austin Strack scores. 3-0 Southampton. It's Austin Strack, the scorer, but James Beatty, who takes all of the plaudits and celebration. Well, the fans petitioned for passion before the game. He gave his heart, his soul, his legs, his body to that goal.
The same.
No tantrums and controversy this time. 4 months and 4 days after his Hillsborough horror show, Paolo Di Canio left the field to applause. A few seconds earlier, he'd even shaken hands and given the ball to Paul Durkin. The last time he'd been that close to a referee, well, the outcome had been very different. But this was all about forgive and forget. Di Canio coming on for his West Ham debut with just over 15 minutes remaining.
I just think he's going to be a super player for us. I mean, everybody's got opinions. I said before that, but I've got absolutely no doubts at all that he's going to be a great player at West Ham.
The volatile Italian had slipped quietly into Selhurst Park at the start, and he'd waited patiently on the bench for his chance. And given that he'd been out since September, he had a pretty decent first touch and layoff.
He's been first class. He made a mistake, and he admits that, Nick. You know, he said, I made a big mistake. You know, he now wants just to play football and just to people to give him that chance to play, because we all love to see talent. We all love people that can do things with the ball and get us off our seats, and he's one of them players. And I think the West Ham fans have showed you what they thought of him when he came on. He got a fantastic reception, and I think he really appreciated that, and he said he can't wait to get the shirt on again and start playing.
For the moment, though, for Di Canio, it was off into the night to catch a waiting cab. Joe Cole is the player who Di Canio had replaced. He looked a real handful in the first half. Hard to believe he's just 17 and that this was his first Premiership start. The Hammers' other debutant, Mark Vivian Bowie, found the afternoon a little more painful. One glorious chance in the first half, one less than glorious finish. But the African is bound to improve. John Hartson was made Wimbledon captain on his home debut against his old club, but despite a battling performance, he got very little opportunity as he gets ready to face Monday's misconduct hearing over his infamous training ground clash with Eyal Berkovic. At the time, he was fined £10,000, punishment enough, says his old boss.
As I say, I always got no axes to grind with him. He's a good friend of John's, and he likes him very much. He had a flare-up. His form wasn't good, and I think at the time, I think he was getting frustrated with himself, and he really did something that he shouldn't have done. But he couldn't have been more sorry, and as I say, I think he's paid his dues now. Let him just get on with his football.
Will you speak on his behalf on Monday?
I've not been asked, to be fair, and you know, I think that his agent, they've got to their own people going along, but if I was asked, I'd be up there, no problem at all, you know, because he's a smashing lad.
Back to the action, and in the closing stages, Jason Newell brought the best out of Shaka Hislop. Then, in stoppage time, Neil Ruddock slipped, let him in again. But Hislop saved at the second attempt as it finished Wimbledon 0, West Ham 0.